It's really an unsung hero and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. But not all vitamin K2 is created equal and some don't even work properly. And I really want to discuss that with you today. Watch until the end of this video to find out why vitamin K2 and your vagus nerve are critically important to your well-being. And I'll also discuss food sources and vitamin K2 dosages for children and adults, so stick around. So what is the vagus nerve? And quite frankly, why should you care? Well, the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. It has two main branches that run down from either side of your spine. Now, these wires attach to your brain and they attach to your organs and they allow your brain and your organs to chat with each other. So you've probably heard of the gut-brain connection. Well, that's the vagus nerve connecting both the brain and the gut. And we could also say lung-brain connection and heart-brain connection, as many of your organs converse with the brain through the vagus nerve. Now, this is important. The activity of the vagus nerve is referred to as vagal tone. High vagal tone is linked to good health, and low vagal tone is associated with various health problems and poor outcomes with COVID and so much more. So like a tranquilizer to calm you down. Vagal tone basically refers to how well your vagus nerve recovers after a stressful situation. So, how vagally toned are you? Well, people are born with various degrees of vagal tone. Some infants naturally have high vagal tone, while others have poorer vagal tone. Now, researchers found that babies who cry more usually have poorer vagal tone. So interesting if you're a parent. So while a person's level of vagal tone can remain constant for months or even years, vagal tone can also be damaged or suppressed by psychological trauma and other life events. Now, this can lead to a predisposition for illness, and you might not cope with stressful situations. You might even stutter or stumble over your words when vagal tone is poor. That certainly was me. I had to do a lot of voice training to get over my stammer. But then I discovered vitamin K2 and I found an easier way to keep vagally toned. More on that shortly. Vagal tone is like asking, how well do you recover from stress? Now, we might think we recover well from stress, but the body tells us the truth with various unpleasant symptoms. Now, poor vagal tone is associated with histamine-induced itchy skin, eczema, food allergies, irritable bowel syndrome, leaky gut, sensitivity to stress, post-traumatic stress disorder, heightened emotional reactivity, psychological problems in children and teenagers, anxiety disorders, depression, panic attacks, stuttering, epilepsy, inflammation, and more recently, long COVID, where people don't fully recover after COVID-19 infection. Now, what does vagus nerve stimulation have to do with vitamin K2? Look, I stumbled upon this weird fact by accident when I read about the benefits of vitamin K2 for bone health and heart health. So I decided to test an encapsulated form of vitamin K2. Now, encapsulated means the vitamin is coated in a protective little shell. It ensures the survival of the vitamin through the digestive tract, and then it's released when it's time to be absorbed. And it also ensures that the vitamin K2 is not destroyed when it comes into contact with minerals such as calcium and magnesium, because they can destroy vitamin K2 when it's not encapsulated. So here's where it gets interesting. When I consumed this encapsulated vitamin K2, it had the strangest effect on my body, okay? About 10 minutes after taking the powder supplement, because it's a pure powder, it's not a tablet which will take you maybe an hour to break down in your gut. It happened quite quickly. So after about 10 minutes of taking the supplement, this wave of relaxation came over me. It was like I'd taken a tranquilizer or Valium or something. I was just laughing, going, oh my God, I am so relaxed. We were just laughing because I could not believe how relaxed my muscles were. My voice changed and it's got, a bit deeper, and my voice just sounded really relaxed. And I was like, well, what is wrong with me? Usually all my adult life, when I was doing TV work, I needed to do voice training so I wouldn't stammer and stutter. Also, maybe in the last 5 years, I just had all this muscle tension. So then I tried special expensive pillows and I tried high dose magnesium and nothing worked. I ended up just putting those pillows in the spare room because I actually found them too uncomfortable. My neck was that sensitive. So when I started taking this vitamin K2, which quite frankly, I took it for heart health and bone health, all of a sudden I'd wake up in the morning, oh, my neck and my shoulders feel great. Now, not only did my muscles relax when I took this type of vitamin K2, I'm not sure if I mentioned my voice also changed and sounded more relaxed. So that was the clue that made me suspect that vitamin K2 had stimulated my vagus nerve, as I'd written about this topic many times before. So I searched medical databases and the research databases online and finally found literally just one research paper that reported that vitamin K2, menaquinone 7, can restore sympathetic vagal balance. So this scientific paper I found tested vitamin K on only 4 adults. So it's a small preliminary study and it's patented. So I don't know if anyone can actually redo this study because it's patented, which may be why I can't find anything else on the internet about it. Who patents a scientific study to halt research in this really exciting field? I don't know. I hope other people can do research on it, but this is what I found in this study. So the researchers reported that vitamin K2 changed the heart rate variability in adults. So the heart rate variability test is a scientific way that doctors use to monitor vagus nerve health. To put it simply, the vagus nerve in your body regulates your heart rate and your heartbeat and the interval between each heartbeat. And vitamin K2 supplementation normalized the interval between each heartbeat, which is a really, really important thing. Now, the vagus nerve is also attached to your voice box, and research by Charis and colleagues showed that vagus nerve stimulation can significantly change your voice, which happened to me when I took this encapsulated form of vitamin K2, which is now in the Skin Friend PM Mineral Matrix. So which type of vitamin K is best? For months I'd been taking a store-bought vitamin K2 supplement in a much higher dose actually. It was 180 micrograms and it had actually no effect. And that's possibly because vitamin K2 is highly unstable. So according to unpublished research, this is interesting, 40% of vitamin K2 supplements had no detectable vitamin K due to poor stability. Now this means that vitamin K2 was added to supplements, but over time it had broken down and there was none left after months of being on the shelf. Now, the study also found that 90% of vitamin K2 supplements contained less K2 than listed on the label when compared to a double encapsulated form of vitamin K2. Now, before you run out and buy vitamin K2, you need to know there are several different types of vitamin K in supplement form. Don't get vitamin K2 confused with vitamin K1. Vitamin K1 has vastly different health effects and it's mainly known for healthy blood clotting. And vitamin K1 is found in leafy greens and other veggies, so it's everywhere in a healthy diet. Instead, you want vitamin K2 for healthy vagal tone. And this is another way people get confused when buying vitamin K2. There are 2 types of vitamin K2, menaquinone 4 and menaquinone 7, and they are not created equal. Now, menaquinone 4 is less bioavailable, so this means it might not give you the results you want, as it's not as effective as its K2 cousin, menaquinone 7. Now, this is a superior form of vitamin K2 according to research by Sato and colleagues. So the results were really astonishing. So consuming menaquinone 4 did not change their vitamin K2 levels in their blood at all. It had been like they had never taken the supplement. And when they looked at the blood of the other women who took menaquinone 7, their vitamin K levels were elevated in the blood. So it was really obvious that they had taken a vitamin K2 supplement. So menaquinone 7 is the type of vitamin K2 you should look for when buying vitamin K2. Now, most brands, I think, don't know this, and they still sell an inferior menaquinone 4, which is ridiculous. So you'll need to check the back of the label on your supplement jar to find out if it contains menaquinone 7. Now, I know you're all probably wondering this. Can you get vitamin K2 from your diet? Yes, but unfortunately, vitamin K2 is hard to find in a common Western diet. The best dietary sources of K2 is found in eel and natto, which is a traditional Japanese food which apparently has a slimy texture. I tried to buy it actually here in Australia. I actually couldn't find it anywhere. It was ridiculous. Now, there are also small amounts of K2 in some types of cheeses, especially blue Danish cheese. And look, a healthy gut microbiome is supposed to make vitamin K2 for you. That's how important it is. So we're supposed to feel all relaxed and calm, and our muscles are supposed to feel relaxed when our gut microbiome are doing their job and making K2 for us. But look, if you're like me and you've taken antibiotics, when I had head to toe eczema and my skin kept getting infected, I took antibiotics after antibiotics. So then vitamin K2 production may not occur, so supplementation is often necessary. Let's move on to dosages. Okay. The official Australian recommended daily intake of vitamin K is 60 micrograms for women and 70 micrograms for men. Now, the US FDA recommends 120 micrograms, but note this includes both K1 and K2. So I recommend adults take 60 micrograms of vitamin K2 per day. And look, you'll get about at least 60 micrograms of vitamin K1 from your daily diet, and even more if you have a healthy diet. And children should have 30 micrograms of vitamin K2 once a day. You don't need to take it all throughout the day, just once a day, and you will have enough K2 to nourish your gut bacteria and also to stimulate your vagus nerve. Okay, I could talk all day about this, but here's a quick recap so we can finish up. So don't waste your money on menaquinone 4 as it's an inferior form with poor bioavailability. Remember to look for menaquinone 7, so you'll need to check the back of the label or ask the manufacturer what source they use. Also, while you're there, ask them if it's an encapsulated vitamin K2, like the one that I use in the PM Mineral Matrix, because regular vitamin K2 is unstable. So as soon as it comes into contact with some minerals, bam, it's going to be destroyed. So you want to have something that's stable and actually works. There is some research that indicates vitamin K2 is linked to vagus nerve health, and vitamin K2 helps to protect your gut microbiome from damage caused by antibiotics. So now you've got the information, you can make an informed choice. You're not at the mercy of supplement companies who don't know what they're doing. Now, if you want the cheat sheet, check the notes below this video for the details.